So as we head into our spring market, there are some noticeable changes taking place that are different from last year. Now, of course, the most often asked question is what's going on with the real estate market? What's changing? Are prices softening or increasing? Well, to help better answer that question and questions for buying or selling, I'll peel back the curtain on the market conditions that you can expect to see in 3 different price ranges in our local real estate market. Now, number 1 is going to be the $1 million or less price point. Number 2 is the $1 million to $2 million price range. And number 3 is the $2 million or more price point. Of course, now in the meantime, interest rates are still hovering in the upper 6% range, and the Fed is telling us that they may consider lowering rates sometime later this year. So we don't expect the interest rate to have really much of an effect in the short term. Hi, I'm Harold Powell. I'm a local real estate agent, and if you enjoy this content and are looking for all things real estate for Ventura and the surrounding areas, well, I suggest hitting the like, subscribe, and bell icon to be notified of future content. All right, so let's address just the overall market conditions for our local real estate market. So the good news is for buyers is that we are seeing a steady increase in our overall inventory since December of 2023. Inventory levels for February 2024 approached 607 properties, up from 570 properties from last February. And March inventory is currently trending about 10% more than last year. Now, what's interesting is last year we actually saw the inventory levels decrease from December of 2022 to April 2023. This year, we're seeing actually the opposite trend, with inventory continuing to trend higher in March as well. So here's the question. Is the increased inventory due to more homes coming on the market or less demand? Well, let's see if we can answer that by taking a look at the new listings and pending sales graph. And what's amazing is that February 2023 and 24 both reported the same number of new listings of 466 properties. And the notable difference is the number of pendings. February 2024 had 347 pendings, which is 17% lower than last year. So the initial takeaway is that the increased inventory is attributed to a decrease in demand from a year ago rather than an increase in new homes hitting the market. So when we look at the supply of homes based on pending sales, the real difference from last year to this year is there is a steady increase in demand last year, which caused the months of supply to decline. While this year, the demand is actually currently trending flat for more of a steady buyer demand. Now, the notable mention is that the overall market is sitting close to under 2 months supply of inventory, again, based on pending sales, which is still considered a seller's market. All right, so let's move on to looking at the 3 different price points. Now, the spoiler alert is that we actually see evidence of a buyer's market in one of the 3 categories. So let's start with taking a look at the number of homes for sale, pending and sold, with properties selling for $1 million or less. Now, the light green represents the inventory levels, and while the 287 homes for February 2024 is slightly lower than last year's February by 7%, our March inventory for this year is currently higher than February. And the other important issue to look at is the red line of pending sales. The 240 pending sales for February is below the monthly inventory of 287, so that equates to about 1.2 months supply, which means there is a very, very strong buyer demand in this price range, which will also put upward pressure on price appreciation. So if you're selling in this price range, well, the average market time is only 33 days. And I will say, if you are priced realistically, you can expect offers fairly soon and strong possibility of multiple offers. While buyers at the same time can expect that they may be competing with other buyers in this price range, and waiting in this price range will likely cost you more money in the future. All right, so let's take a look at the same graph for the 1 million to 2 million range. Now, straight away, you see that the 2024 February inventory of 181 properties is quite a bit greater than the 96 pending sales in the same month. So the ratio is equivalent to 1.9 months of supply based on pending. So this still categorizes this marketplace as a seller's market. The good news here for buyers is that you are less likely to compete with other buyers on the same property like you would in the 1 million or less price range. Now, of course, the other takeaway here is that the year-over-year inventory of 181 homes in February 2023 is about 10% higher than last year's February of 164 homes, which means buyers will have more properties to choose from this year. And if you're selling in this price range, well, you still have a very strong buyer demand and pricing strength, along with an average market time of 43 days, which obviously is a little bit longer than the $1 million price range. Now, moving on to the last category of properties, which is homes priced at $2 million or more. Now, it's not surprising that there are the fewest number of homes available in this category, and this price range tends to be much more seasonal as far as buyer activity. Typically, March through October are the stronger buyer demand months, in which twice as many sales happen versus the off-season months. So, February 2024 sits at 68 properties, which is very similar to last year's 70 properties. But here is where the most dramatic difference between this price range and other two ranges is the ratio of pendings to listings for the month of February. February had 7 pendings out of 68 properties, which puts this at just under 10 months supply of inventory. So what is significant about this? Well, this is considered a buyer's market in this price range. Now, I would expect to see March end up with probably twice as many pendings as February, which would put the supply of inventory based on pending sales just under 5 months. And now the classic definition of a buyer's market is actually 6 months or greater. So this price range will likely sit more in the neutral or balanced market from March until October. And of course, it's not surprising this price range would also have the highest average days on market of 116 days. So a buyer in this range can generally enjoy the fact that you won't have to compete with nearly as many buyers on the same property, and potentially much more flexibility in negotiating the sales price. Now, at the same time, if you are a seller with a hard to find property, such as a large ocean view single-story home on a flat lot with ample parking, well, then you may find a few buyers willing to compete for that property, especially as we enter our spring market. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Thanks.